What's up, guys? This is Adnan, and this is the second video of the Node.js API playlist. In this video, we're gonna get everything set up so that you can start building your API from scratch. All right. So there's two things you're gonna need. One is Node.js, and Node.js, if you already did the React Basic playlist, you already got this downloaded, right? This is where you download like a stable release, right? And then if you're on a Mac, you can use Homebrew. So you just basically type this command. It's going to get everything. And then you do brew install node, right? And the way you know that you have it, right, let's say you forgot, is just type npm, right? And this will be the result, right, where it's saying usage npm, where command is one of, blah, blah, blah. Right? You can say node v, and it's going to say 12.18.3 or whatever the version is as you're watching this, all right? So if it says something like internal, external command errors, right? That means your path is not pointing to the right directory. So make sure you do that. Use Google, use Stack Overflow. That is your friend when you're experiencing errors like these, all right? So now that you have Node installed, the second thing we're going to do together is Mongodb, all right? And Mongodb is like a backend that we're going to place our to-dos in. The way to think about this is we're going to build an API that works with Mongodb, right? And essentially the API is going to create, read, update, and delete to-dos from the database, all right? So that's the way to think about it. And right, so this is a backend, right? So we're going to we're going to just set it up. So make sure you just go to this URL, account.mongodb.com, account login. I don't think you need this last part, right? Still it works. Okay, so we're gonna start a fresh account. So I'm gonna do sign up. All right, and I'm gonna type a fresh email, right? I'm gonna type my name, type my last name. Now let's just do whatever. All right, let's do this. And nah, you don't need this. Like, whatever. Alright, let's just say student. Yeah. I have to have this. Okay. Let's do XYZ or whatever. Doesn't matter. Sign up. Alright. So yeah, just simple stuff. Alright. And it's just, you're gonna get this like, oh, welcome, use your account to deploy a cloud database. And boom, all right, you're gonna be set up here. Okay, so honestly, it doesn't matter. This stuff really you care less about. JavaScript, you skip. Yeah, you don't care. All right, and then okay, so these are the two options. Typically, if you want something advanced, you'll pay, but you can just do the free version for now. Doesn't matter. And then you just pick like a version. So I'm gonna do North Virginia. All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna choose AWS as well. All right, and then basically here we are. This is the step you want to be at, and this is the creating the cluster. All right, so I'm going to brief you a little bit on backends, right? So in a backends, you're going to have one database, and that database is going to have a bunch of tables inside it, right? And same thing here. We're going to have one database, and there's going to be a bunch of collections, right? But since we're just doing to-dos, nothing fancy, it's just going to be one collection called to-do. All right. Another thing I want to clarify is the concept of an API. So maybe you're asking this, and maybe you're watching this, and you're like, "Hey, Adnan, what's an API? I don't even know what that is." Right? And the way to think about an API is it's like someone that is the middleman of something complex going on behind the scenes. All right. So a way to think about it is like a waiter in a restaurant. Right? If you go in a restaurant and you're seeing the menu and you're like, "Oh, this looks tasty. I'm going to get it," right? You're not concerned about what the chefs are doing, right? That's a whole other world. The only things you're seeing are the tables, the waiters, and just, you know, the general scenery of the restaurant. And so the reason I'm mentioning waiters is because the waiter is like the middleman between you, the customer ordering, and the chefs who are actually making the food behind the scenes, right? So the waiter is saying, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And you say what you want, right? He or she goes to the chef and says, "Hey, make this." Then when the chef is ready, they bring the food. The waiter brings the food to you. All right, so you only talk to the waiter, and the waiter spoke to the chef and got the food back. So that's the same way in a web app, is that you are like the front end. You're just telling, hey, I want this, right? And the back end is in its own world. So the API will go to the back end and say, hey, I want this information, and it's going to give it back. All right, so that's exactly an API. It's just like a middleman that's needed to communicate between both the front end and the back end. All right. So the API is going to be built in Node and Express. All right, and then the back end is going to be Node.js. All right. So let's see. Hopefully things are good. All right. We'll just wait. Yeah, it won't take long. Like, it's just speaking to another database, or speaking to a cloud provider, which is in Virginia, across the country. Yeah. And always research these things before, like watch YouTube videos, outside of this one, right? And really, like, you don't have to have a deep knowledge, but like understand this stuff, because when you're in an interview and you don't know this, it's not going to look good, and they're going to think that you're like not really up to date. So yeah. Alright, I think it's almost there. Alright, here we go, and this is it. Okay, so yeah, this is just a low tier cluster. We don't care. And if you really like care, like if you want to make something large scale later on, MongoDB does provide like the graphs of like how your users are doing. So kudos to them, because that is really important. All right, but this is just a to-do app, so nothing crazy. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hit connect cluster. All right, and then I'm gonna add my own IP address. Or we can even say allow access from anywhere, right, if you really want to make it public. But I'm just going to add your current IP address and, add IP. Okay? There'll be this checklist here, but don't worry about that. We're going to do that together. Okay, I really want to highlight step number 2 is create a database user. All right? So, every company has a database, and that database has like a set of users attached to it. And some users will have the full functionality, create, read, update, delete, and some of them only have part of it. Like some of them can only create and read, but they can't update or delete, right? So this is the important thing with databases, that you define users and their policy. Typically like a junior developer, right, someone who just started working, they're not going to have delete access because they can screw things up with faulty code. All right, but like if you're a manager, you have everything, right? So that's what we're going to do here. This is going to be a complete full access user. So yeah, we'll just do ABCD 1 2 3 4, and you can do like some password. Right. So create database user. All right. And choose so now choose a connection method. Okay. So there's 3 ways you can connect. We'll just do the second one, connect with your application. And this is the main line that you need to save. When we go to the next video where we're actually going to code in Node.js, you're going to need this line. So save it somewhere. We're going to reference it later. And then, we're going to put it in the Mongo connection lines of code in our API. All right, so let's close this. This is the main thing you need. All right, so if you got here, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, so close that. Okay, and just the second thing we'll do is we'll make a cluster. So let's see here. Let's see, how can I add my own cluster? Or add my own data collection, what I'm saying. Let's see here. Yeah, alright, add my own data. Let's call it to do and to do. Right? Create. And voila. Alright, you have a to do collection. Alright. And this is just going to be where everything is going to be stored. So we can do full CRUD here. So we can do create right now, insert, and I'll do like to do our name, and this can be like do your homework. Right, we can add a field. We can call this completed, and let's change it from string to boolean, and then we can do like false. All right, so insert. All right, and there you go. Alright, we can read obviously, and then I can update it too, so I can do, completed to true. All right, update. Okay, and then I can delete it as well. All right. So I can do full CRUD on the web platform, right? But we don't really want that because our API is not going to be, our like to-do app is not going to like go to a website, find the button, and then click it. No, right? We're going to do that full functionality via Node.js and some additional libraries like Mongoose and body parser. All right. So if you reached this video and you reached here, again, give yourself a pat on the back. It's not easy setting all this up, right? And if you have any errors, please put in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. And yeah, next video we're actually going to start coding. So I'll see you then. All right.